At the heart of Khorasan is Afghanistan. And that's why they've occupied Afghanistan.
The Afghan population has reacted to this war as expected.
And I worry a lot about people never come around to understanding who the Taliban is and why they are motivated. Taliban doesn't mean they want to come here and kill us. The Taliban means they want to kill us over there because all they want to do is get people who occupy their country out of their country, just like we would if anybody tried to occupy us.
Governor Perry.
No foreign army has ever successfully occupied Afghanistan. They just don't like foreign armies in their country. Now, me personally, Greg, I think that's rather an admirable trait. I personally, if I had been alive when Hitler was at the Channel ports, I would be the British equivalent of a Taliban. I would be trying to blow up the German soldiers that were occupying my country. Wouldn't you?
Taliban fighters on their way to kill American soldiers.
Hello.
They chat calmly on their radios. Relax, brother, says one. And they pray to Allah. And then, as dawn breaks, the assault begins with a hail of gunfire. 150 Taliban fighters dispersed in 30 groups of 5 against a few dozen U.S. and Afghan soldiers. Today, say U.S. commanders, the Taliban are even more powerful, showing their strength across the country. From another deadly ambush on a U.S. outpost near the Pakistani border this summer, to the raid on a UN compound in Kabul in October.
Increasingly, the Taliban is establishing a presence around the capital, Kabul, so that today, if you travel just a few miles down this road, you're entering Taliban-controlled territory.
Taliban fighters patrol the roads openly, and in the mountains they're training to fight. The Taliban have a ready supply of thousands of recruits for a holy war against the U.S. military. I want all the foreigners, one told us, to get out of our country.
He now believes very strongly that the United States has to get out, that there is no way the United States is going to be able to win in Afghanistan, no way they can win in Pakistan either. That the United States has no understanding of the forces it has unleashed in Afghanistan, does not understand the Pashtun population.
90% of that country is under the control of the insurgents. There are 140 armed resistance groups, not just the Taliban. Many of them are loosely networked. How does the U.S. get its supplies to its forts, to its military bases? Of course, it has to go through enemy territory. It can't militarily control the situation. And as it becomes clear and evident that the United States is in such desperate straits in the war in Afghanistan, even at the moment that the Obama administration is surging more troops, tens of thousands more troops, even under this situation, it becomes clear to the American people, I think, that this is a hopeless cause. And in fact, the war in Afghanistan has been lost, and this is just one more piece of the puzzle, so the political fallout will be very great.
I think our vision is a little narrow here. When we leave Afghanistan in defeat, we're going to galvanize this generation of Muslims, just like the defeat of the Soviet Union galvanized bin Laden's generation of Muslims. So this is serious business. This is not cops and robbers, sir.
We're actually fighting the Afghan people as a whole. Every Afghan is a Taliban, in the sense that every Afghan is fighting to get rid of the foreign occupation of their country.
The Taliban, I mean the groups I have met, were very polite with me. The men were very respectful. The fact that I was a woman didn't prevent them from talking to me. We discussed, I interviewed them without any problem.
American sources on the Pakistan border say that the number of foreign fighters being brought across the mountains and into Afghanistan is increasing. They're Uzbeks or Tajiks or Chechens or Pakistanis, but there are Europeans amongst them.
The Prophet said, when you see the black flags coming from the direction of Khorasan, go and join that army. That army has already started its march. They know it. And that's why they demonize as a terrorist anyone who supports that army.
فلا شك أن الذي يوفقه الله تعالى لبذل روحه والقتال في سبيل الله تعالى بلا شك أنه على فضل عظيم.
The moral law is that you have the right to respond to oppression. And if you cannot see oppression in the Holy Land, you're blind.
The Muslims were used to defeat USSR. So the Muslims have demolished the USSR. And today, just like yesterday, the way the Muslims defeated the two superpowers, the Persians and the Romans, today the Muslims shall defeat Russia, USSR and America. Takbir! 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 Why then do you despair in the face of a coalition? The Prophet didn't despair. They had a coalition at his doorsteps. 7 young men from 7 different tribes to scatter his blood among 7 tribes so that they can take revenge. He didn't despair. He dropped dust on their heads. The coalition that they are putting together in Asia against the Taliban, the Rasul dropped dust on their heads, and today in this 21st century, the Taliban shall put bullets from the Kalashnikov through their heads.